It's a momentous day for me. I built my shop 18 years ago, and I built it with 12-foot ceilings because I knew I wanted to have a lift in the shop. In the intervening 18 years, a lot of things have happened, including raising 3 kids, finishing up a lot of school, changing jobs, becoming a small business owner, a lot of other things that were not really planned at the beginning of that 18-year period. And today I'm going to pick up my new lift that I just bought. So in that regard, it is a momentous day. When I get there and get it picked up, I'll be sure to share that with you. A big summer for me. I've got a lot of things planned this summer and a lot of big purchases. So that's not a braggadocious thing whatsoever. Just that I'm really fortunate to have the opportunity to do some of these things that I've wanted to do or had an interest in doing, and just capable at this point of doing it. So I'm going to head to get the lift right now, and I'll video it when I get there and let you see kind of how things load up on the trailer. The wind was so, you can see the wind blowing here. It was so dramatic that none of the audio turned out. But here's my trailer with the lift loaded on it. Everything's packaged in this large package here with really nice metal bracing, and the ramps are there, or both, I guess, runners are there. Hydraulics are included. Everything's banded well together. All of the materials that you need to put it in place are right there. So one big long package. Now this is heavy, and so you're going to have some work to do. I also have my air jack, which is going to roll back and forth on the lift, and I use air pressure to lift, to jack up cars and that type of thing. So very well done. The packaging is excellent. No complaints at all about how this whole process worked out for me. So this is the Wildfire lift here in the shop. If you're like me, your shop is not the cleanest in the world all the time. You see over there the state of the shop a lot of times. But I've cleaned the floor. I've got it ready. This is my lift here. It's all a forklift, the forklift that the trucking company wanted. For sure, being so long, so they picked it up on this end. Now it's time to get it together, so I'm going to try to document this process and let you see what we have here. So this is the air jack. Just a couple of straps, took the top off, made it pretty well. A little scuff here, looks pretty good. This is the rail, the system for the, you can see how heavy that is, very well made. Little damage here, but if that's the worst thing it ever gets, I'll be pretty fortunate. I'm sure it'll get used and abused a little bit by me. So it looks pretty good. It's packed up well, made the trip well, it looks like. We'll film some more of this here when we get a little farther along. There's a piece of metal across the top there. And this one on the bottom has another fastener on it. I hope I can get that in here. I'm not sure that I can. Let's go. Like that. Put that on. There we go. That looks pretty good. Looks good, looks good. That just sits on top of there, it looks like, doesn't it? Looks like it. Fastens in right here. So I'm going to have to come back in there and pull that off. Just cutting these straps here. I better close this up. This is a recipe for disaster. Now we should be able to unwind the packing on the top here. More of it anyway. go. It's not going to work just yet. All right, I'm probably going to have to get this off of here first. Taking care to put all my hardware away where it goes. What are you looking at?
How thick those cables are.
Yep, they're big. They gotta be. They pick up the whole weight of a car. Got a little scuffed over there. Oh, the winter washer. Get this off. We'll be kicking right now. Now it makes no sense to have both washers on the same side of that bolt. That shows a lack of something. I'm not sure what. A lack of something. This is going to be the hard part, probably. All right, so I think that one strap will do it. I just need to probably let it down and slide it over a little bit. Just want to balance it a little bit. Like that. Need to move that balancing point this way. I might just have to work with it. I don't think it's going to look much at all. Just a little bit. It won't help enough, I don't believe. But we'll try it. What the hey? I'm farther to the right than I need to be. I thought the whole time I was farther to the left than I need to. Yeah, no doubt. Come grab this and pull it back out of it. You'll have to put that camera down. Well, folks, it's been a little while, and I haven't recorded most of what I've done to get this thing stood up and ready to go. Started on it and just kind of ran out of time. I ended up cleaning up the shop as much as anything, and it still doesn't look clean. I got more junk stacked in here. But at any rate, you have to take these uprights here, and you have to stand these gray legs up, and you have to, lay them down. The instructions show you how to lay them down to lay them down on the ground. You put these top caps under them, and then you kind of load these up. You have to pin this big safety lock back using some of these nylon slides to hold this back so it won't engage with the lock, with the notches. And then what I found is you have to kind of push this up far enough that you can push it forward and keep that from engaging as you're sliding it on, because as you're trying to slide this black part down, the loop, I guess, down over the leg, it'll keep locking on your notches. So that works pretty well. And once you're done, you slide these nylon slides in here. You put these caps on with the little washer, flat washer, lock washer, and cap screw there. Get that going. Here, you take these bolts, slide them through from the inside, put the flat washer, lock washer, and the nut on there. There's a spacer here that stands it off, and then your stop just slide in there like that. I did get my air jack, so that was interesting, because as it sat in the box, it was a little hard to get out, and I pulled it out finally with my lift. I put a couple of those straps under it, pulled it up, finally got it level. You have to back these screws out here, and it will slide back and forth to center up, and then you can tighten those screws to hold it in place. And then the air goes into there, and off you go. Bob's your uncle, as they say. So I've got a lot of things to continue to work on. I put these locks in place here. Those screw on there with 4 of these little screws and a flat washer. So this piece is a jack tray, well made, very strong. You can use that to jack things up, and you can lock it into place with that. It adjusts with some cap screws, Allen head screws that go in the bottom there, and have 3 drip trays that go with it, plastic drip trays, very nice. I'm ready to put these caps on and get that done. I got to get the caps on. I got to plumb. You can see I've got a mess. I've just been in here trying to work and get things done. I've got to plumb all of my cables, get those caps on, get my cables plumbed, and then we'll be in good shape and get the hydraulic oil in. ISO 32, I believe it is, yeah. AW 32 or ISO 32 hydraulic oil. Roughly 2.5 gallons, 10.5 quarts. 1 inch below the straight edge, below the filler cap. So I've got to still put the hydraulic reservoir and everything there on. I've just been working around a work schedule and all the other things I have to do. There's plenty of that. So this is the box the air jack came in. So I need to get rid of that. And we will continue to work on things. So it's obvious that my Wildfire lift is not completely installed at this point. I'm still working on that. I got things scattered all over my shop. Had work, things at work, a lot of other, things at home here other than working on the lift that I had to do. But this is a heck of a lift. It's really well made. I'm very happy with the product. And as soon as I get this finished up, I'll show you. Probably not going to go through the step-by-step, because I just think that's, the instructions are pretty straightforward. If I find something that's interesting that I think you need to know, I'll let you know. A couple of things here that I noticed, or at least a couple of things that I think you probably might want to know about, would be here. There's a hole down here in one of your plates, one of your runners here. This is this goes where your hydraulic reservoir is going to go. So I'm going to put my reservoir over here, try to keep it out of the way. It's got to be connected to 110 volts, so a 20 amp outlet, 20 amp breaker. So my plan is to go ahead and run another line here from my breaker box and take care of that. And so it's pretty straightforward stuff. I get this done and get my cars in here and get them stored temporarily, and then be able to move them around to work on this or that. I got several oil changes to do, so I'm going to start on that as soon as I get everything moving. I'll start the oil change process. I got a couple of, got a brake job I need to do, and a few odds and ends. So, everything everything, once you have the lift in place, you can do a lot of other things that you might not have wanted to do. And so that's the goal. I built this shop in 2003, so this is 18 years in the making. And I went to pick this up, and when I picked it up, the folks at ABF asked me what it was. I told them it was a lift for the garage, and they said, what was it he said? He said that, asked me if I was a mechanic, and I said it's just a hobby. And his exact words were, well, that's some hobby. And I would agree. I've been very fortunate to be able to save up and have this type of spot. When I was a kid, crawling around in gravel and dirt, working on things that were really not in very good condition, I always dreamed about having something that I could work on like this. So I'm not a kid, but I hope I have a lot of years left of being able to tinker on things. Everybody has things they enjoy. I enjoy tinkering, and that's kind of where we are here with what I'm doing. Be working on this lift and get this finished up, and we'll start on some other things once the lift is done. So here's the next stage, which is installing these. These are the control rods, I guess you could call them. Your controls mount up. This is what engages and disengages the locking mechanisms. So this has a rod that runs all the way through the side of the channel where your hole is for your hydraulics on the other end. That's where I'm going to put the reservoir down there. So you thread this. It's got a long rod with a spacer on it. Threaded end on the other end over here with a nut. Pull that nut off. You slide it in, and you then run the nut all the way to the end of the threads. So all the way back into the end of the threads on this rod. And then this rod actually screws into a rod that runs the whole length of the channel and actually comes out over here. You can't see it, but you can kind of see there's the rod right there. So this is where the long rod comes all the way across. There's a hole in here. You can feel it. It's got a captive nut welded on the end of that rod, so you can tighten everything down. The only thing I'm running into right now is that when I'm trying to tighten this up, I can see that I'm going to have to pull this nut out, back this bolt off a little bit to be able to get this done. So take care of that right now. Bring you back when things are together. I recorded this series of videos back about 4 years ago. That's when I got my lift, and didn't really think or know at the time that I would be posting it on YouTube, but I wanted to record it just in case I wanted to do something with it later on. So I've been using it for the ensuing 4 years. It's a fantastic tool. Works great. Couple things I would say. Number one, it's heavy. So if you're going to put it together, you might want to grab a couple friends, and a couple of steak dinners are much cheaper than back surgery, so you might want to do that. The most difficult aspect for me was standing up the uprights and getting the loop to go around each of those uprights effectively. You do that while the uprights are leaned over or not completely upright. You got to put the loop over it, get everything kind of equalized, and stand both of the uprights for each end up at the same time. And then you can begin the process of getting everything else in place. Level it up well. Make sure you have your cables leveled accordingly so that you have a nice even lift and a nice even drop. And you can tell pretty quickly if you have an even relationship there. If one side, corner, whatever starts to raise or lower faster, you'll see it. So be sure you spend the time to get that right. Otherwise, the directions are great, and you can use a cherry picker, an engine hoist, as I did in the video. I also used my little tractor. I have a Kubota tractor with a front loader, and that's actually better. It was a better process. I should have used it from the very beginning. Later, I used it to set the uprights once I got the loops around each of the uprights, so that worked out much better in the long term. But again, a couple of friends, and you can make this happen pretty easily. I did this with my wife, and most of the lifting I kind of
relegated to the tractor at some point. So this picture shows you the Cobra sitting on the lift above my Jeep, and as I said, it works great. In terms of being able to add capacity to your shop with minimal cost, it's one of the best things I've ever done, and it certainly saves a lot of hassle when you have to climb up under the vehicle to do anything. So many videos I've posted on my channel of my using my Wildfire lift. Can't say enough positive things about the lift itself. I spoke to Mike, the founder of the company, and also I think his son Brad, and that's just a good experience all the way through from the first phone call until the completion of the order. Everything worked out as it should have. And you don't always get that in today's world. So again, highly recommend them. I get nothing for it, but I did want to point that out. So the videos that I posted weren't really intended to be used as a how-to. It was just sort of tracking what I did, and I wanted to share that with the folks on my channel here. Until I see you again, endeavor to persevere.